Welcome back to the More Than Sports podcast. I know it's been a minute once again, but this time I had to come back because my boy Kevin Durant, my guy Kyrie Irving are making noise again, and not in a positive way. For me, at least, it's positive because I'm a Lakers fan and I'm hoping Kyrie Irving lands in LA. But Kevin Durant announced that he's going elsewhere. Shook the world. I actually made notes this time, if you guys can see. I took it. I was like, you know what? I got to do this. So here we go. Shook ones from Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. I'm literally at work, just chilling, right? I'm kind of going through my Reddit, seeing things and how they are usually. That's what I like to do. I like to go through Reddit just while I'm working, because to keep update. Like, free agency for me is like pinnacle. Ever since I've been a little kid, I was obsessed with the Canucks. So I would start with that, watch it every single day on Canada Day, since I am Canadian. Hello, yes. And from there, we would go, and I would see all the Canucks' signings. Like, they're signing, like, Matt Sundin's, like, one of them that I remember vividly. And I was like, damn, like, this is a big signing the Canucks are doing. So it's always been, like, a festive thing for me where I'll actually sit there and watch while people go outside and party for Canada Day. I just watch it at free agency. But anyways, me being a Lakers fan, I wanted the Lakers to obviously acquire Kyrie. But we'll get into that later. We're going to start off with the big news, which is obviously Kevin Durant. So, again, I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden, it's like, Shams reports Kevin Durant asks a trade out of Brooklyn. And I'm like, what? Is this a fake report? Like, I had to check it. Like, my heart dropped for just a little bit second, because obviously if the KD wants to leave, that means Kyrie wants to come to LA. So I was all over the place. But this is the notes that I've made that I think we should be talking about. Half the league, because I don't think KD's going to consider the other half. But the major market teams, everybody should be pitching in their offers for Kevin Durant at this point. Why? Yes, he's had his Achilles injuries. Yes, he's not a great leader. I'll get into that a little bit later as well. But from a basketball standpoint, we will never, I don't want to say never, because NBA is just crazy and shit just happens all the time. But see a superstar, or maybe the best player in the world, best basketball player, however you guys want it. In my opinion, I think he is, just because he deserves that title at this point. And I know many of you guys are going to disagree. But anyway, let's just say for the instance that Kevin Durant, being the best basketball player in the world right now, is available. Let that just sink in for like 5-10 minutes on a 4-year contract, and has no trade clause. Obviously, he's given his teams that he wants to go, which we'll get into a little, but he simply just said, like, I'm done. I'm all Brooklyn. Mic drop. Shook once to the Brooklyn fans. Just don't know what happened. Because I was going through the Nets forum on Reddit, and they're all happy and stuff. Like, hey, like, Kyrie's back. We got Ben Simmons on the bench. Ben's going to come back with the vengeance. He's working now. And KD's he's going to shut everybody up. But they had no contact with the Brooklyn front office, from what the reports are. Shout out Brian Windhorst, Shams again, and Adrian Wojnarowski. But Kevin Durant just dropped the mic and he's like, yo, we out. See you later. And just in like the most quietest way. It's just, there's nothing, nobody was saying this. Obviously, it was reports when Kyrie was going through his dilemma with the contract, but nobody was actually mentioning like Kevin Durant had any put. There was reports like, yeah, if Kyrie was planning on leaving, Kevin Durant was considering other teams. He was considering maybe he wanted to leave and go play somewhere else. But I honestly believe that Kyrie's whole show was a smoke until he got his contract, and he wanted the leverage, which he did. He got a contract, which it was kind of favorable towards him. I'm like, oh, Brooklyn's gonna come and run it back. Fuck, the Lakers are fucking screwed again. But KD had a master plan from the beginning. And now the teams are calling. And what does Brooklyn honestly need to get back from Kevin Durant? Like, you can get so much back, but at the same time, it's like the teams that Kevin Durant has asked for. Let's go over them. We got Miami. Why does he want to go to Miami? Personally, I think Kevin Durant wants to go to Miami. Simply, he's realized he can't win by himself. He just can't. He just wants to hoop, and there's nothing wrong with a guy that just wants to do his job and wants no other worries. Most of us are like that anyways. We don't want other responsibilities, even though you might be great at your job and your boss might be like, hey, by the way, you could do this, you could do that, you could do this. We need you to be like this. We need you to be like that. We need you to be like this. Katie's like, bro, I tried it. Put me in an environment where there's already a culture, there's an establishment of who the hierarchy is, and I'll follow. And all I gotta do is just worry about ball, I can do that at an elite level, better than most people. So let me just do that. If it's gonna hurt my legacy, so be it. Fuck it at this point. I'm trying to win. I'm tired of this shit. I tried it. It's not for me. I'm sorry. I can't become the guy you guys want me to be, like LeBron and all these other players. Steph. I'm not like him. I just want to hoop. Don't want to deal with anything else. Personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's a lot of people out there that were like questioning, like, you ain't that guy. You ain't like Steph. You ain't like LeBron. Let it go. It is what it is. Still an amazing basketball player. When it comes on the court, Kevin Durant is still an amazing basketball player. That's why half the teams are calling. That's what they're calling. Like, yo, Brooklyn, bro. Like, what do you want? What do you guys want? So Miami, we got Pat Riley, the Don at the top. Even LeBron, when you went to Miami, there was nothing he could do. There was nothing. He wanted his boys. He wanted certain features. He wanted certain exclusiveness. Pat Riley's like, yo, I run this. I'm the Don of Miami. You ain't getting any of that. So LeBron, after that, peace out, Pat Riley. I'm out. Can't do it anymore. Want you a chip, and it is what it is. But I think with Kevin Durant, it's a lot more different because he needs that. He needs a person to put people in his place because KD can't do that. Just look at this situation with Kyrie. He was helping his boy, but look at where it got them now. Right? Even if Miami has to offer Jimmy Butler, everybody's available on Miami if I'm Miami. Because this opportunity doesn't come where you can trade for a player like this, and he has 3 to 4 years left on his contract. That is huge. There's no, we trade for this guy. We don't know if he's going to re-sign here. No, you get Kevin Durant for 3 to 4 years with a no trade clause. Trade clause. No, he ain't going anywhere. So Brooklyn could just be like, you know what, you fucked us over. We're going to put you anywhere else. But I doubt that's going to happen because the players run the league, and it is what it is. And then you got Eric Spoelstra, you got UD out there. Like, they'll take care of everything else. Like, yo, KD, just go do your thing, bro. That's all we need you to do. That's all we need you to do, KD. And I think that'd be a perfect scenario if KD ends up there. What do you guys think? You think if KD goes to Miami, they're contenders? I think he should stay in the East because the West is getting loaded. Especially if the other trade happens, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But stay in the East, KD. Do your thing versus Giannis, and then come back and then beat Steph, and then you'll have your redemption. Simple as that. Simple, man. But what do I have next on the list? The Phoenix Suns took a fat L. Got Luka. Nucleared. They didn't show up. I don't know what happened to the Suns. But who better else to get than Kevin Durant? And he wants to go to Phoenix? I guess he's like, you know what? This team's pretty dope. I'm assuming he thinks Booker wouldn't come in the trade, and they're going to trade DeAndre Ayton. This is the rumored package, DeAndre Ayton with Mikal Bridges, and then maybe Cam Johnson, and then first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 4 first-rounders. They don't give a fuck at this point. This is Kevin Durant. We'll come get it. But from what I've been hearing from my sources, which is the internet and Twitter, they're saying that the Suns are New Jersey's like, yo, like Aiden ain't really that guy though. You know what I mean? We want like Devin Booker. What's the point of Kevin Durant going on the Suns if Devin Booker's not on the team? We're gonna go play with CP, who's like old. I guess he's a great leader. Chris Paul is a great leader, but is that something we're really looking for? Because I think he wants a team that kind of resembles kind of like the Warriors, where now we have a leader in Chris Paul. We got another true scorer in Devin Booker who just wants to hoop as well. Chris Paul is going to put everybody in their place, get them the shots they need. True point guard. Regardless of how you guys feel about Chris Paul, point guard. And with Kevin Durant, that team would be deadly. Very deadly. So we'll see what happens with that. And there's other teams that can offer a lot more, like Boston. I've heard a comment. I put this on my story earlier today. A guy was like, if Sean Marks trades Kevin Durant to the Boston Celtics, I will myself go drive there and slap him in the face. I was like, okay, KD should not go to Boston. I'm tired of like this narrative, like when you lose to a team, that you got swept by Boston, you're gonna go join them again. Like, Katie, we can't do that. I can't support you anymore if you do that. One time is enough. I'm with you. Second time, I'm jumping ship. It's over. We can't do that no more. All right. Now let's go to Kyrie. Mr. Flatters, I don't know what you guys want to call it. Kyrie's been getting a lot of hate, which I guess he kind of deserves. In my opinion, not really, because I look at it from a basketball standpoint. Really do not care what he does off the court. And again, I think his situation in Brooklyn and then going back to Boston was just totally different. With Boston, he was tired of being LeBron James' second man, and I guess a lot of people can be, but he was young at the time, and he hit the shot, and he thought he'd get a little bit more cred, and then it all went to LeBron, and he's like, yo, peace, like, I want to go do my own thing. And that's fair. At the time, he was young, and now he's kind of learned through the emotions. He went to Boston, fail. Then he went to Brooklyn. He's like, yo, KD, yo, we're not going to go to New York. We're going to go to Brooklyn on the other side. Because we ain't going to New York because I don't really like New York like that. And Katie's like, yo, let's do it. Like, you're my boy. I saw you play in the NBA Finals against Steph, and that was my boy at that time. But you lit him up. You reminded me of Allen Iverson. You had me crazy. So they went up there, and, like, again, the leadership hasn't been there for Kyrie. As much as he hated LeBron or didn't want to be with LeBron or didn't want LeBron to be his mentor, LeBron's the guy that kept Kyrie in check and always brought the best out of Kyrie. And then Kyrie finally realized this and being like, you're like, Katie, you my boy. We poopers, but both of us, the situation ain't gonna work. And again, a lot of you guys been just hearing about Kyrie, just he's in his own world and stuff like that. Trust me, if Kyrie Irving gets to LA with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, the NBA is gonna be on alert. Cause just take Kyrie and LeBron with Kevin Love, who was like washed at that point or just lost his ability to play because his role was diminished. But with Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, and LeBron James, bro, that pick and roll, Anthony Davis actually being that big man that then the West would be fun. It'd be fun if that happened. And I think it's going to happen because Kyrie is kind of, all the hints and the rumors are saying that Kyrie's coming to LA even before he signed the contract. So I'm excited. Laker Nation excited. I'm always on the Reddit forums, and every 5 minutes it's just like, yo, Kyrie, it's crazy. It's crazy. But the most crazy part to me is how the league is like, yo, we don't really want Kyrie like that. Yo, this is Kyrie Irving, a dude, to me, who's probably a top 5 scorer in the league, bucket getter at any time, have a bad possession, give it to Kyrie. I'll go get it. Backhand, I'll get it like this. You just don't find these type of guys. And regardless of off the court issues that come with him, put him in a scenario where there's established this culture, and just tell him what to do, and that is play basketball. And who's gonna do that? Lee GM, Father Don, Mr. LeBron James will do that with Kyrie Irving, and you will see the best out of Kyrie Irving. Which, this is like just a miracle just happened from the sky where nobody wants a guy that's under. I think Kyrie's around 30, about to hit his prime, and everybody's like, fuck it. We're tired of your bullshit. We're not gonna give anything. And the Lakers are just like, yo, we're desperate enough to go do this because we got another guy who just opted in at $47 million. His name is Russell Westbrook, and he can't even accept his role. So we would rather take Kyrie Irving, who has a higher upside, who's shown chemistry with LeBron James, and doesn't really need the ball like that the way Westbrook does, and can spot up, shoot, and meshes well with their team. Sounds like a fair deal. So they're obviously going to take that, man. Like, what? And why are these teams, like, if I'm any other team, I'm trying to get Kyrie Irving. But again, you need to have that establishment of a leader and culture where Kyrie just comes in and all he has to do is just hoop. And that's the only thing that he needs to do. And there's no other worries. There's no drama. There's an establishment of a hierarchy. Key point. Establishment of a hierarchy. That's the only way both of these players are going to succeed, because both of them have proven to us they are not great leaders. They can't lead teams in any scenario. They need hierarchy. I'm going to put an emphasis. Hierarchy. Okay. And then, like, I just want to end off with, kind of been ripping this guy. It's one of my most viewed videos on Instagram. So I'm going to take it back. I apologize to James Harden, since he's showing a lot more leadership this time. and he realized I wasn't playing the best. So he opted out of his deal and told the Sixers, I am trying to win a championship. I will do whatever it takes, even if that means I'm going to take less money so we can go sign greater players in free agency, which increases our chances to win a championship. I think James Harden has finally learned of being like, you know what, I'm tired of this shit and I really just want to win. I went from OKC, almost won, but we lost. Then I went to Houston, had a bunch of great teams. I had a bunch of success with Mike D'Antoni. Again, I put up crazy numbers, but again, we didn't win. And then from there, I went to my boys' team in Brooklyn, where I thought it was the perfect situation. Me, Kai, and KD were just gonna run through the East and run through the West because we had stupid talent and we just didn't know how to utilize it. I took a back seat where I just wanted Kyrie to go play shooting guard because I was done with scoring and I was gonna be a point guard, which is my best ability. And one guy just decides like he's not gonna show up to work, so this is a weird situation. Sorry, KD and Kyrie, peace. I'm going. Sixers come and they won. James Harden looked very good in the beginning, and then kind of just fell off. I think he was a little bit of he's injured. I'm gonna say I don't think like James Harden was washed. I just think he needs to come back in better shape. I think you guys probably agree with that. If James Harden comes back in better shape, and then we will see glimpses of James Harden of old. But this just being like, you know what, I'm gonna opt out even though I can make this money, but it just shows to me like this dude's actually about winning now. Like this is what he wants to win. He wants to show that he's a leader. He's in a great environment. He's got a great second player in Joel Embiid, and they're gonna do whatever it takes to win. Shout out to James Harden. Very proud of you, man. This is the type of stuff we need. Not these players that are opting in, who I'm gonna talk about next, which is my boy Russell Westbrook. It's been a long 2-3 years for Russell Westbrook. I was on Reddit again and I was watching some guy just make a compilation of not James Harden, Russell Westbrook just getting like annihilated by LeBron James in the bubble, and they're like, this is the guy we traded for. Like, what sense was happening when we made this trade? And again, most people don't know. Like, I just couldn't stop laughing because LeBron blocking, they're leaving him open, like no respect whatsoever, and Russell Westbrook opted in his $47 million contract. To me, he's making more money. He's getting paid the most on the Lakers, more than LeBron, about $7 million more. Obviously, this contract was signed after when he won his MVP, I believe, or it could have been a little bit earlier than that. But I'm not gonna blame a guy to go get his money. If my value was probably not even the veterans minimum, or maybe at that, and I have the opportunity to go get $47 million, just like you guys and me, we are probably going to take that. Fuck the team. I'm going to get the bag, bro. This is what it's about. For most players, it's like that. Another question I have before I end this off is, how many players do you guys think actually value winning a championship and, like, leaving a legacy? Like, unless you're LeBron or, like, these superstars that really care and you're being compared, like, Michael Jordan, all the greats. If you're just a like, if you're average player, maybe just a star or even, like, a little bit below that, you're just trying to get the bag. Like, look at Jalen Brunson, right? Obviously, he wants an opportunity to maybe go back in Dallas, but obviously he didn't want that because he saw Luka needs the ball, and I can't really be myself all the time. And Tim Hardaway Jr. is coming back, but if I have the opportunity to get more minutes and be a little bit more of the centerpiece, I'm gonna go take it. I got a lot more money in New York, which is a huge market. I can grow my brand, become even a way well-known player than when I was in Dallas, second fiddle to maybe the best player that's going to be in 5 years, which is Luka Doncic. But now I get an opportunity to go to New York. I can display all my skills, and I get the bag. So my question to you guys who are watching this and are like diehard basketball fans is, how important is money versus championship for a player that's not competing for his legacy? Like a LeBron, KD, or Steph. These guys, obviously, they're trying to win chips. But for everybody else, is the bag more important or trying to win championships and leaving money on the table? That's a question for you guys. Peace out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the podcast. Peace.